Game two. I'm really excited for tomorrow pregame. It's unique that when we came here, I guess I'm in year 8 now. The idea of raising banners, cutting out nets, and handing out rings was the goal, was the dream, and we dream really big in this program. Again, I apologize for the cough, but tomorrow night is a celebration of the season we had, the 3rd most wins in school history, an Elite 8 run, a Big Ten championship, and to celebrate that team and all the great things that our fans, our coaches, our staff got to enjoy about watching that team play, and it didn't quite end where we wanted it to, but we get to raise a banner, we get to hand out rings. Unfortunately, we've got guys with pro careers that are still playing that won't be here to celebrate that, but we'll make sure they all get the video, they all get their rings, and tomorrow to me is about the fans and the great thanks that we have and the appreciation that we have. I've said many times, this is where this program belongs. Being able to do this, it's really hard to do. We understand that, but excited for that opportunity, excited for the guys that are here, all the managers, all the coaches that have worked so hard to put us in that spot. So that celebration happens before the game tomorrow, and leads us into a great contest with SIUE, who is very good. They're coming off a game last night against Indiana. They were in that thing till midway through the second half, and extremely well coached. They have legit size. They have a great guard, and they were more than impressive last night in Bloomington. I think 16 offensive rebounds they got. They played really hard. So we've got to grow from the first game in some areas, and we'll expect for them to challenge us on the glass. Their physicality, big, they've got size. Got a couple of JUCO kids that were in Barton County, which won a national championship. They know how to win. They've got size on the perimeter as well. They can play be 6'9" at the 3. So excited about the challenge, and they're extremely well coached, and we'll have to play well.
Coach, after game one, do you feel like you're ahead of the curve a little bit in terms of identifying roles and execution, all that kind of stuff, or is it going to take a few games, just because it is an all-new team?
No, I think we're about where I thought we would be. I think we're still, I think we've got some decisions and choices. I don't want to say decisions, choices that we can make on the front court. I think we can see us playing bigger a little bit at times. I think you can see Merez and Tommy, and I think you can see Kerry and Ben together, different combinations based on what the defense gives us. So I think we've got some things there. We played a little smaller at times in the Eastern game based on their lineup. We slid Trey down to the 4. But again, I think it's game by game, and we'll kind of feel that out yet as we still continue to define roles.
How much confidence do you have in Tommy right now? It seems like he just opens up so many different options for you guys offensively.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy was a couple of threes away from having just a stellar night, and the thing Tommy does is he can elevate with passing. He's been one of our best three-point shooters statistically throughout practice. If he gets 6 of them, if he gets 10 of them, if he gets 12 of them, I'm all in. I think he's gonna make him. I think it allows us to space him in corners based on matchups, and then you saw what he can do in a post. Against double teams, had a couple of nice assists and nice passes, and his versatility on that end is a tremendous plus. But again, he's going to see legit size tomorrow night, which he did not see the first night.
Did Draven make defensive improvements throughout the year, and that's why his minutes went up at the end of the year, or did he make a big leap in that regard this offseason?
Both.
Okay.
Draven had maybe, and I'm not trying to be critical of him, Draven hit a freshman slump in January last year. He was just struggling, and he buried his nose into work and kept working. The problem we had with Draven was his hands. He was reaching, he was in foul trouble. On a team that didn't foul very much, he was hurting our team because of his fouls, and therefore he was trying to be physical. He was almost trying too hard, and then something clicked a little bit later in the season, and he just got. I think he started to believe in the weight room that he could chest people and not have to reach, and then he's continued that, and he's very strong. He's anticipating better. He understands coverages better. So that freshman to sophomore thing is very true as well.
Brad, with Tommy, his ability to facilitate all the things you talked about offensively, but it doesn't seem like he would give up much on the defensive end, given 7'1" and can play around the rim. Does that remind you of anything you've had in the past, and what's that allow for you to do?
I don't know if we've had anybody like him. Maybe go back to Georgie a little bit in terms of, but he's so much bigger than Georgie. But have the ability to pass, have the ability to be versatile. Georgie was more of a block player than Tommy is. I think Tommy can be one of the best shooting bigs in the country, and that wasn't G. But we truly haven't had him. Then Kofi was the wall. Kofi was just massive and did things differently. But that's why we're playing a little bit the way we're playing, and the 5 out, and it opens things up, and he gives us a nice luxury to play in the pocket and post ups and pick and pops. He's got the whole game.
You mentioned front court options. To have maybe two very distinct bigs and Tommy and Merez, what does that may allow you to do? They definitely have different strengths.
Yeah, whatever the game needs, whatever the game calls for, we can get to it a little bit. And I think we'll eventually be able to play both of those guys together some. I thought Merez was terrific on the defensive end. I mean, just his activity, his ability to spring off the floor, and a lot of those are what we call late contests that he went up and blocked. And when you can put when you can challenge people at the rim like he does, it's different than Tommy, because Tommy's more vertical, just in terms of his body. Excuse me, guys. You got a tickle going. It's good. But they're different, but it gives us a nice diverse package.
Coach, you had 20 minutes for Will Riley the first game. I don't know if you can make much of that because of the score, but is that about right for him, or you want him out there on the court a little bit more?
No, I'd like to see him on the court a lot. I think it's defining roles. I think we got tremendous productivity, obviously, from him. He's efficient. I think that again, as the game goes, the games move up in caliber, so to speak. I think we'll see increased opportunities for him. But I thought he was efficient, and I thought Draven was efficient. You big nights from both those guys off the bench. That's what we strive for here, is to continue to find productivity at that level off the bench, and I think we got that.
As with Merez, again, did 6 blocks. Did you anticipate him being as much of an eraser at the rim that he was, or was that?
No, we know he can really jump, and but I think it was great timing. I think it was the a little bit them. Maybe not having a true post-up guy that he had to be occupied with, so to speak. That'll be a little bit maybe different look tomorrow night. But the way we play, and in our drop coverage, and those options are going to be there. And he's just he's a bouncy kid and had great timing.
Yeah, that shot chart, philosophically, we know is what you want, but when things start to ramp up, how repeatable do you think that can realistically be?
I don't know why it should be any different.
Sure.
I hope it's that way. I hope, I thought we missed 9 open threes that we should have taken, and we didn't. We drove it, and we don't want to do that. I think we can be a really, really good shooting team. I think those opportunities are there. I was disappointed in our offensive rebounding in the second half. We got 50% of our misses back to first. In the second half, we got content because we made a few. Thought we were going to keep making them, and we can't do that. We can't relax. We've got to be the best offensive rebounding team off of a 3-point attempt in the country, and we work on it daily. So, and then we got guys who can get in the paint. The coverage determines a little bit of what those things look like. Drops, Eastern trapped, and hard hedge. KJ just took what he gave and got the ball out of his hands. But we'll see every game. But I'd hope it's pretty close.
Coach Tommy mentioned maybe he was more of a traditional pick and roll guy the last few years. Had you guys already seen in his game that he could be more versatile? And then was he excited when you asked him to start doing more of the passing and the shooting?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we were able to really dive into and film in the recruiting process, was his ability to shoot it. And he was 2 or 3 attempts a game. But his ability to step out and shoot it was highly efficient. And we were like, we just need to tap into this. And again, it's coverage based. Tommy has the ability to do whatever the defense gives him. And the other night there were a lot of pops and a lot of opportunities, and yet when he rolls, he's 7-1 at the rim, so you better be able to protect against that and those lobs, because he can. He's a better athlete than vertically than most people think.
Coach, most of your guys aren't coming back from last season for the ring ceremony, but how nice was it to see Max Williams today?
Oh, anybody who's been a part of our family is always welcome back here. I think it's what makes Illinois great. Is you start going through an email list of former players, managers, coaches, and it's thousands, and you start looking at how many of those guys come back, and throughout the course of a season, and how many of them wear their old Letterman's jackets, and how many of them send emails or phone calls or text messages. That's what truly makes Illinois special. There's not many of those programs out there. And even though guys are doing their deal right now and advancing, and to get a guy like Max, who was a walk-on, and we scholarshiped the second semester, and to see him come back and want to be a part of this, and he deserves that right. He was out there every single day. We didn't see him on the court, but he was out there making guys better and fighting Marcus DeMosk every day in booty ball and guarding Terrence Shannon, and there's tremendous value in that. So, my hat's off to Max, and what a wonderful young man, and he deserves the opportunity to be recognized and wear that ring.
Brad, as time has gone on, it's sunk in, just all that you guys went through last year, obviously the success, but the challenges you had to overcome, in particular Terrence, and does that give you a different level of appreciation?
Yeah. The maturity of that group was really special. The quality of person was really special. There was genuine excitement, care when somebody else did something good. And it didn't matter if it was Marcus getting his one night or Coleman getting his or whoever it was, there was excitement for that. And that permeated through that locker room. And you go a man down in Terrence's situation, and they didn't blink. And I mean, in terms of doubting that they had the ability to rise to the next deal. Now, you don't lose a first-team All-American. You don't lose arguably the best season in Illinois basketball history numerically. You don't replace that with one guy, but as a collective group, they fought and competed. And if I have a disappointment, we were 1 weekend short, because I do think we were a Final Four team that just had a bad day against the best team in the country. So I feel for them not being able to make it to the last weekend, but all in all, it was an incredible group. It was so fun to coach. That team was fun to coach. They had great personality and came from sources that most people don't think about. But it was a special year.
Just the last couple of years in Arizona, Kyle was very high turnover. Was the opener maybe a little bit of exhibition? Was that a blip for him? 'Cause, I mean, I don't know what's maybe kind of.
I hope so. We're playing different. We're playing, it's the style's different. They're very controlled in their motion and their flow, as they call it. With two bigs, the paint was a little more congested. The opportunities for him in the paint are a little different here. I think he's adjusting to the style. I think it's a blip on the screen. He fumbled a couple. Just made one that he pitched to their bench, just behind Will. But I think he's all in all, he's a pretty good decision maker.
Coach, with the challenging non-conference schedule that you're playing, is there a sense of urgency in these early season games to iron things out and maybe try to get to mid-season form and get things clicking before you face some of those tougher teams?
No, it's got to be step by step. You can't force things because of the schedule. The one thing I understand is process. I don't think there's any shortcuts to winning. I don't think there's any shortcuts to building something that's sustainable. There's no need to try to trick something off that you can't sustain. We've got to keep building our foundation, laying our base, developing the right habits, understanding what winning plays are, understanding the plays that don't allow you to win, and keep rebounding, not turning the ball over, setting great screens, all the little details, and we'll keep hammering those. We're going to have to do those whether it's Alabama, Arkansas, Oakland, SIUE, or anybody in our league. And I think this team as they continue to find themselves will continue to grow, because I think confidence happens with sustainability and with growth.
Will the squirt gun be out there during the ceremony, and have you retired that one for that specific year, or is it going to be the same maybe going forward?
I don't know if my family and I'll have one of my daughters here. I don't know if they could stand to see me with my shirt off again. The squirt gun itself in a pregame deal may not be the right look. But I can tell you, I will have my shirt on, and I will have no squirt gun. The Super Soaker is safe though, so we're just looking for the more improved and high-powered one, for when the time is right.